Hello, this is Steve, and this is my second video on the mobile game Egg Inc. If you saw my first video, you'll know that I really liked Egg Inc. It was a complete time waster, pointless game. You make chickens run out of a coop and they go into the things like that, and you upgrade your farm. And then when you get to a certain amount of value on your farm, you can unlock the next level. So you start off on the edible level, you unlock superfood, medical and rocket fuel and so on. Now I really liked this game. It was a pointless little game, pointless clicker game, but you do have actual progression in it, because you will reach a level in the edible level when superfood unlocks and medical unlocks, and all of these levels unlock. But the reason that I made the video last time was because when you get to the AI level, the last level, which was Nebula, was miles away, and you would need to spend money and do your in-app purchases or make some, exploit some little bugs in the game to actually unlock the Nebula level, because the cost in the game to get to Nebula was a massive leap compared to the progression that you'd had up to that point. So it was like if there was a paywall or a brick wall that was designed to make you make an in-app purchase, the leap between AI and Nebula was it. But the thing with Egg Inc. was you could play it quite happily up to that point and spend as much money or as little money, or even spend no money if you wanted to. There's a nice little pointless time waster game. But what's happened is 2019, there's been a massive update, and two of the main core mechanics of the game have changed. The first thing that you notice is that there's two extra levels. We've got Universe, and we've got one here that I haven't discovered. And if we just go into the upgrade screen, you can see that even with all of that cheating and messing around that we did in the last video, I'm still absolutely nowhere near unlocking the Universe level. And the next level after that, I haven't even discovered. It needs 32 vigintillion. I mean, I didn't even think previously the number went that high. So the game really seems to be taking the piss. You're trying to get through the levels. Those last two levels, I don't think I would ever achieve those without spending significant amounts of actual money to get there. But the other thing that's changed is that the piggy bank that you could break open, you can see that my piggy bank here has nearly 1.4 million eggs in it. But if you go onto that screen to open it up, the first thing that you notice is that the price has shot up. It's £4.79 to get those eggs. But the piggy bank is showing as being full, and it never used to fill up. So previously, you had the choice. If you wanted to spend some money, you could do, but you could decide when to spend the money. You could watch the piggy bank increase. You could do some of the contracts that would double the amount, and you could end up with 10 million, 20 million eggs in the bank, and then spend the £4.79 to actually crack open the piggy bank. Back at the time it was less than that. It was like £2.39, I think. Now what's going to happen is when you reach the full level, the piggy bank stops growing. So the only way to continue with that as a method of progression is to actually pay out the money, and that money has gone up to £4.79. So the combination of the brick wall on the piggy bank and the ludicrous amounts of money you would need to upgrade to the next levels, Universe and Undiscovered, really sort of takes the mick. I think that's just an opportunity for the developers to turn the game into an absolute cash grab. What you had before was a game where you could choose to spend some money if you wanted to, or you could just play the game in a slower pace. It was a fun little clicker game, but now it just seems to be a game that's going to nag you to make in-app purchases at every opportunity, because I can't understand how anybody is expected to progress their way through all these levels like I did on the previous video without cracking open that piggy bank many times. The other thing that you notice as well is that each of these levels was actually completed before. 10 billion was the maximum amount of chickens you would get in the coop. So you would complete the edible level, the superfood level, the medical level. But now, looking at that green bar, you can see that we're nowhere near completing those levels, and I'm not even sure if they are completable, because you know how long it takes to get to 10 billion chickens on a level. So to be able to get that green bar to the end of every level, it just seems that the game is absolutely pointless. Now, it was a clicker game. It was always pointless. It was always a time waster game. But what you've now got is a game that is completely pointless and requires you to pay money to progress. So I just can't see there's any reason to actually play this game anymore. It's a complete waste of time, and it's to me, a really good example of how a nice little fun game that wastes a bit of time on your mobile when you're waiting for a bus or whatever, is just absolutely ruined by developer greed. I hope they change it back. I doubt they will. But that's it. That's my advice. Is there's literally no reason to play this game anymore. It's absolutely pointless, and it's been absolutely ruined.